All right, our big story that we're tracking right now, it is what's happening in Pakistan right now. And several reasons why what's happening right now in Pakistan is a cause of worry to India. Firstly, what has happened in the last couple of days is there have been recent instances of bombings that have taken place in Pakistan. Parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa where there's been very serious cases of Shia versus Sunni conflicts that have also happened due to the bombings that have taken place. Over 40 people have died so far. That area continues to remain tense. So there's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa that is tense, Balochistan that continues to remain on the boil as far as Pakistan is concerned. On top of that, there is fresh updates coming in. The jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan's party, that is Pakistan Tehreek-i-Insaf, has once again resumed its march towards Islamabad on Monday. There was an overnight stop on the way amidst very stiff resistance that had been put up by the authorities to foil any attempts to enter the capital. In fact, the entire capital, entire Islamabad area was under lockdown due to unprecedented security measures. Why? Because the deep state, the establishment, is taking on the 72-year-old jailed former Prime Minister, who in fact issued a final call on the 13th of November for nationwide protests to take place on the 24th, that is today, yesterday in fact, denouncing what he termed as a stolen mandate. There are essentially three key demands that Imran Khan has, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about, and why those demands are unlikely to be met, why the situation is likely to intensify and create a bigger security issue as far as India and the region is concerned. Three key demands of Imran Khan. First, he says that the mandate is stolen. Second, he says that the 26th Amendment to the judicial process should in fact be revoked. And the third thing he's been saying again and again is the fact that the deep state needs to now claw back against him. In fact, listen in to some bites that are coming in of Bushra Bibi, Prime Minister of the jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan.
रसूलुल्लाह के उम्मतियों को खान को और मेरा सलाम। खान के हुक्म पे 24 नवंबर से नहत्ती अवाम रुकावटें हटाती हुई इस्लामाबाद पहुंच रही है। जो अभी तक नहीं निकले वो अपने और अपने मुल्क के मुस्तकबिल के लिए इस्लामाबाद पहुंचे, क्योंकि आपके मुल्क के मुस्तकबिल का सवाल है। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Okay, so I don't know Urdu, but we'll try and get you that translation. Essentially, I'm sure Bushra Bibi must be saying that the arrests regarding Imran Khan is something that the entire protests have been all about. We're going to get you that translation in a bit. Before I get in Tara Kartha, I want to tell our viewers what is it that's of concern to New Delhi and why we are discussing this story, why this matters to the viewers of India Global. Let's get those questions up and running. Now, is Pakistan facing a crisis of legitimacy? It's already facing a crisis of economy. It's already facing a crisis in terms of the deep state not getting along with the elected government. Now, the crisis of legitimacy has extended to the government as well. That's question number one. The second key question is that can Imran Khan actually topple Shahbaz Sharif's government? Remember, he's extremely popular. His clarion calls are being answered by his supporters on the streets. Who would have thought the tenacity with which Imran Khan is continuing? So there's a serious question. Can Shahbaz Sharif's government actually be toppled? And the third and the most important question is that should India now be worried about a growing security issue on its borders? Pakistan is in a state of boil, has been for some time now, but seems the situation is far from being under control. Let's get in Tara Kartha to talk about this, and then we're going to get some voices from Pakistan as well. Remember, a large part of Pakistan internet has been suspended, and which is why communication lines for all practical purposes are down, but we're going to get those lines up and running. But first up, Tara Kartha, former Director of National Security Council, with me on the broadcast. Tara, the situation is not just unprecedented, it's pretty much now edging towards being on boil right now.
Oh, yes, it is. Because I think, Gaurie, unlike we've seen crisis in Pakistan before, right? I mean, this thing has been going protest, bomb blast, blah, blah. This time, the issue is everything is coming together. You know, it's not just the political crisis as that question you put up in terms of political legitimacy. That is what is being questioned by Imran Khan. and with a lot of justification, because I remember I was monitoring those elections and we saw how the numbers kind of shifted suddenly, right? I mean, some of those places, that was very surprising. So there's a question of legitimacy of this government. And I think the second part is that Imran himself is so, he's popular. The crowds which come to him are not just the, the what one expects in South Asia, right? It's a lot of middle class. There's the youth, there are women, there are serving army people like we saw last time, and their families. They're all out supporting Imran Khan because they see him, rightly or wrongly, as the one person who is not corrupt, who is not part of that, that family circle of corruption. And let's remember, they haven't been able to prove a single case against him. I mean, each case has been one by one has been dropped, which is
Exactly.
why they brought in, if you remember, the whole arrest of the former ISI chief, Faiz
Right.
Hamid. That was the whole idea, to
Yes.
get no charges against him.
Indeed, and let's get in Ayesha Siddiqui as well. Siddiqa, who's joining us from London, author and senior fellow of King's College. She's written extensively about the deep state, the Pakistani army, and how it continues to play such a big role in the Pakistani establishment. Ayesha, many thanks for joining on this show. Let me start by asking you, how do you read the situation that's unfolding in Pakistan? Unlike some of the other protests in the past, it seems that it's now in fact spiraling, and nothing that the government is doing is ensuring that the supporters of Imran Khan back down.
Well, let me first start with your initial comment. You were like, this is something happening in India. This is not about India. This is not something which is threatening India at all. This is about a political instability. In fact,
No, I didn't use the word threatening. I said
no,
worrisome security concerns on our border. But yeah,
well,
go ahead. Yeah.
Well, but it's not a security concern on your border. The thing is, this is domestic issue with Pakistan, deeply domestic, firstly. And, not everything is linked with India. Secondly, it's important to know that, I mean, despite that I'm not personally a supporter of either PTI or Imran Khan, I think this is, in a way, a reflection of people's resilience. I mean, how do you count, for example, resilience? Here are people, right or wrong, we may not approve of Imran Khan, like his ideology, like his politics. The fact is, here are his supporters who are saying, we're tired of traditional politics. We're tired of how the military establishment manipulates Pakistan's politics. And we want to regain a foothold by bringing this man whom they believe is going to change Pakistan's future. Uh, interestingly, there is a solid corruption charge against Imran Khan, which somehow they've not been able to kind of prove as yet. This is the case relating to Malik Riaz, the real estate property, tycoon right now in Dubai. And Imran Khan and his government released 192 million pounds, uh, which were supposed to be, which were caught in money laundering,
Right.
and through a deal done by Imran Khan government, and in return for which he got a land. Now there's a solid case, but I don't know why. Partly up until now, what had happened was that the judiciary was, divided. Some of the judiciary, higher judiciary, was supporting Imran Khan.
Yes.
26th Amendment was carried out just for that, to kind of reverse
Yes.
that. But the fact of the matter is, people, PTI supporters inside Pakistan are protesting. People outside are protesting.
Yes.
I mean, yesterday in London, where I am, over 2,000 people got in front of Downing Street.
In fact, this is
there
a
were
question.
bigger marches in Italy.
In fact, this is exactly what I want to ask you, which is that he seems to be extremely popular despite very serious charges against him. Despite being in jail, his clarion calls are being answered. It sort of seems that the establishment or the present government doesn't have answers to his popularity, and the crisis of legitimacy that the Shahbaz Sharif government faces just become that much more acute.
No, there you are right. You see, and the problem is that the cost for the establishment is increasing. I mean, yesterday I was hearing they're actually even retired military officers and their families who tried to join the protest. Some of them have been arrested. Nobody knows where they are. They are being, moved from one police station to the other. Nobody can access those families. Overnight, the capital city was, the hostels were evacuated, closed down. Students were put on the streets, nowhere to go home. Main highways in Punjab were shut down. Main highways connecting Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Islamabad were shut down. I mean, it's like the country is under siege, but not from outside, but from within. And which basically means the cost is rising. But so far, it seems that the military establishment is ready to clamp down. It says, this is a cost that I can bear as long as I can keep the situation in control, keep things going. I mean, their estimates are that in 2-3 days, this will all get washed over until a new announcement is made.
Let me put that to Tara Kartha. That Tara, how serious or how significant are the threat that exists from these protests, from Imran Khan's popularity? Add to it what's happening, the unrest in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, to Shahbaz Sharif's government, and the possibility of it lasting these very uncertain and turbulent times.
I think, looking at the visuals that you're showing right now, this is massive. I have never seen anything like this in this country, this level of protest. And like Ayesha said correctly, and I had mentioned earlier, this is a level of support for him which is among the middle class also. Is the educated people who are educated, the people from, the upper classes of society. They're not going to give up so easily. And they're taking it to the media, they're taking it outside the country. And I think, it's Bushra Bibi says, she says, we are not leaving until Imran Khan is released. That was her last statement. And if that is the case, if they're going to sit down there, it is serious. But, protests, however large, after a while they tend to peter off, but then the thing is whether can the government sit down and face this for, say, a week, 10 days? I don't know, because PTI is the master of protests. Imran Khan has shown his ability to launch protests, ironically, with the help of the army earlier against Nawaz Sharif. We've had these massive protests. So let's see how this goes. And meanwhile, it's basically the soldiers who are getting targeted. In Balochistan, it was a group of soldiers. In Bannu, it was a group of soldiers on a suicide attack. So this is overall an attack on one of the most important state institutions, which is the army. After the 26th constitutional amendment, it is now the army which is in power. Forget Shahbaz Sharif. The army's got everything under it, and everybody knows it. So
Indeed.
It's a loss of face for the army, a terrible loss of face if these people do not sort of go away after a while. If they keep getting some more support, then I honestly don't know what's going to happen.
Ayesha, how do you read this going forward from here on? There have been clarion calls, they're being answered. There's unrest that's in fact amplified in parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, further pointing out Shahbaz Sharif government's inability to keep the country together. Where do you see this going from here on?
See, firstly, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is governed by a PTI government.
Yeah.
So it's a provincial government ruled by the PTI, which is in conflict with the federal government, which is Shahbaz Sharif, right? And some of the resources the federal government gives to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and you talk to the Pakhtuns and they fear that Ali Amin Gandapur, he plays on two sides. The chief minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, on the one side, of course, there is the party which he has to stand by, but on the other, he also needs to talk to the establishment. He keeps talking to the establishment, and there are several reasons, instances where they've had a discussion, where they have a dialogue. So right now, this is a problematic period, and what they feel that, the establishment feels that this is momentary and this will pass. Let me also point out very quickly and relate to what Tara was saying. The crisis in
Yes.
Balochistan or the crisis in KP has got nothing to do with this crisis. I mean, they're disconnected. I mean,
Okay.
the army may have a poor
Yes.
face in Balochistan and other parts for not fighting the TTP, all of that. That's a separate matter.
Right.
This is very deeply political.
This is deeply
And the
political
problem is that
and
political.
has huge
And
ramifications. Let me quickly get in a voice from Pakistan, from Islamabad. In fact, Mehr Tarar joins me on a phone line because, as I said, internet is completely down and communication lines are also impacted significantly. Mehr, talk to us about the situation on ground, what's happening, how significant is this protest and the standoff between PTI and the government?
I'm not in Islamabad, I'm in Lahore, but I'm in Islam the same
Okay.
thing. Everything, most other than the protest is primarily either from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Punjabi people traveling to Islamabad are mostly from Lahore or cities around Lahore. The thing is, you can't call it a standoff. It's not a standoff. It's basically within the Pakistanis against the current government. It's not just about Imran Khan's incarceration anymore. It's not even about the crackdown on PTI supporters and PTI activists and leaders and the rape on their houses. You see, anybody who, for instance, if somebody announces that they are going to protest against what is, peacefully protest against what is happening in Pakistan, so there's a crackdown. They would raid that person's house to try. If a protest is announced, they go into parliamentarians' houses. They try to when they try to arrest them, they break things in the house. They beat up people, family members. They were like females, wives, mothers, staff members, children, teenagers. So it's a chaos. It has always been bad in Pakistan for the opposition parties, but right now it's more than a standoff. The major problem right now, not right now, since January 2024, is the result of the election, because it's not what PTI is saying, or regional observers, international observers, even PTI distracting, people who don't like PTI at all and who hate Imran Khan with passion and impartial observers. Everybody said, other than of course these parties, they are all. I was talking to somebody who's known for her criticism of Imran Khan, a famous person in Pakistan. She said she tweeted right after the election that Imran Khan's party had won the election. So let them form the government. That is the principal problem. It's beyond Imran Khan's incarceration and what is happening in Pakistan. So the result, it's called the Form 47 government in Pakistan. This government in the center and in Punjab did not win the election. They did not have the mandate, and they are the ones who are deciding who gets to speak, who gets to protest. Because if you look at Pakistan's history, no prime minister has ever been able to finish their term in government.
Yes.
The problem is they all wanted the protest. They all wanted to react.
Absolutely.
They kept asking for years, the problem is they have been stunned at supporting the elections, because most of the principal, most of the important leaders are either in jail. Some of them were forced to leave the party. Some of them are in hiding.
Absolutely.
So you need to understand that this protest is not being led by Imran Khan or Shah.
Okay, so that's essentially what the fundamental issue is, which is how people think. As Mehr was saying, people are saying it's not just about a standoff, it's about a stolen mandate from the people as far as that election in February this year that took place that got Shahbaz Sharif. On that note, thank you so much, Ayesha Siddiqa, as well as Tara Kartha. In fact, it was an all-women's panel. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of India Global.